Hello everybody and welcome back to the damn podcast channel. Y'all, we're on the podcast channel today, so make sure you check out all the links in the description so you can check out my other channel and make sure you're subbed to both of them. If you like the vibe, make sure you subscribe. Now today we're going to be reviewing 3 different articles, 3 different updates on 3 different cases. And then after that I will give my opinion on each of them. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so first we're going to be talking about some updates with Sherri Papini. She is getting ready to be sentenced. That will be happening on Monday. And so let's go ahead and just read some of the highlights from this article here. Now the name of it is Sherri Papini, or the title I should say is Sherri Papini Who Faked Her Own Kidnapping Should Get 8 Months in Prison, Prosecutors Say. Papini, a mother of 2, vanished in 2016. When she reappeared, she said she had been abducted and branded. In reality, she had been staying with an ex-boyfriend. So let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Now this article is by Alicia Fieldstad. It was published September 14th, 2022 at 9:57 a.m. Sherri Papini, the California woman who pleaded guilty to faking her own kidnapping and lying about it to the FBI, should be sentenced to 8 months in prison, prosecutors say. A lesser sentence, such as the 1 month of imprisonment recommended by probation or home detention in lieu of incarceration, is not sufficient to achieve the purpose of sentencing, prosecutors wrote in a sentencing memorandum filed Monday in U.S. District Court for Eastern California. They also recommended 3 years of supervised release after time served. Now, she did plead guilty in April to 2 counts of a 35-count indictment, including to mail fraud and lying to a law enforcement officer. The government said an 8-month sentence would discourage Papini from ever trying such a scheme again and dissuade others from committing fraud. The sentence is also appropriate, prosecutors said, because Papini's crimes had many societal harms, such as causing the public to live in fear and possibly causing law enforcement to doubt the veracity of future victims' claims. An entire community believed the hoax and lived in fear that Hispanic women were roving the streets to abduct and sell women, prosecutors said. Papini is due to be sentenced Monday. Her attorney did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Wednesday. Now, I definitely have stuff to say about that, but let's go ahead and jump on to the next lovely lady, Letecia Stauch. Now, what we're going to be doing for this one is we're going to be actually reviewing a reporter's tweets about this. She live tweeted during this hearing. And so we're just going to kind of go over those. And like I said, at the end of the video, I'll give my opinions on these. Now, we're going to be reviewing Brooke Nevins. I've put her information up here on the screen, as you can see. And you can subscribe or follow her on Twitter, however you want to say it. Follow her for the Gazette, where she writes at. And there's that. So let's go ahead and dive into what she had to say. So her first tweet, she's just sitting here saying, you know, the defense attorneys and Gannon's family are there in the courtroom, and this Letecia is absent, as well as the judge. And then we get down here and we see a member of the EPCO Sheriff's Office just told Stauch's attorneys that they enacted Plan B to get Stauch in the van from jail and into court. She has a history of resisting appearing in court in person. It could be another 10 to 15 minutes before she arrives. And then we see a little bit down here, she has arrived. Then the judge directly addresses her about delaying court. One of the things you do not have a choice about going forward is whether you're going to appear. Now, the next tweet, we had a conversation a while back about you needing to be here and what it would look like if you won. Warner told Stauch that she can choose not to come, but in that case, deputies have been ordered to use all force reasonably necessary to make sure she's here. Defense said if the eval isn't done at CMHIP, they could do it at the jail or at Parkview Medical Center in Pueblo, who said it could hold Stauch during the eval. Warner said it had received a request by the defense for Stauch to wear an EEG monitor for 72 hours. Tellini, the defense attorney, said he contacted a doctor at the state hospital on September 2nd regarding whether Stauch can stay at CMHIP, and he said he's called several times, but he's gotten no response. Now, the prosecution also said that they have had no contact with CMHIP, the state hospital. For context, the defense wants a second medical health evaluation to be conducted for Stauch after a first sanity eval by CMHIP found her sane at the time of her alleged crimes. On August 25th, her defense said they still want Stauch to stay at the CMHIP while an out-of-state psychiatrist conducts the requested second eval. Again, CMHIP has not been responsive to phone calls, Tellini said today. Tellini agreed with the judge that if Stauch undergoes a second mental health eval, he hopes it could be done in one sitting by the defense's out-of-state expert. Now let's go down here. EEG monitors are wrapped around one's head together and monitor brainwaves data. Warner scheduled an evidentiary hearing for October 13th 15th at 1:30 to hear updates from the defense and sheriff's office on the EEG and on security safety concerns. DA Allen said the prosecution does not anticipate calling witnesses during that hearing. Court was adjourned just before 3. Stauch responded to Warren and says, "I did not refuse court. I refused to go without hygiene." Stauch also told nearby deputy that you can't refuse toilet paper. You can't refuse hygiene before being escorted out. Folks, be on the lookout for a story soon. Okay, so let's go on and move on to the third contender for today, Miss Lori Daybell. Now we're going to be reading an article. This is in the East Idaho News. This is by Caitlin Hart, and it's titled "Judge Hears Motion to Ban Cameras in Lori Vallow Daybell Case." This was posted on September 15th, 2022 at 12:15 p.m. Now I'm going to read just several little clips here. I'll be putting them up on the screen. A motion hearing was held Thursday to determine whether or not cameras will continue to be allowed during court proceedings for Lori Vallow Daybell. Daybell's attorneys Jim Archibald and John Thomas filed a motion last month to ban cameras from the courtroom and future court proceedings, including Daybell's trial, which is set to begin in January. Prosecutors Rob Wood and Lindsay Blake filed a response to the motion in support of the camera ban. Lori Daybell appeared in court Thursday wearing a pink blouse and tall black heels with freshly curled hair entering the courtroom. Daybell was seen smiling but became noticeably more tame with her emotions and facial expressions than in a hearing last month. Following that hearing, her defense filed the motion to ban cameras. Archibald argued that by allowing cameras in the courtroom, his client will have to prove her innocence instead of the state having to prove her guilty. The defense and prosecution noted while they believe in the constitutional right to the freedom of press, they don't believe it includes broadcast. We let the media police themselves, and what did they do? They put microphones on our tables and put cameras right in front of our faces, said Archibald, referring to the August hearing where 2 cameras were used and microphones were placed on tables. Both sides stated the incessant media exposure is impeding on Lori Daybell's right to a fair trial. Steve Wright, the attorney for the media, argued the news organizations followed a court order during the last hearing and did not take any unauthorized steps while recording and broadcasting. It's regrettable that counsel feels misled and they didn't notice the microphones, but they were approved first and foremost along with the cameras, says Wright. There's a significant difference in telling this court that this courtroom should be open, but only to people who physically want to come and sit in the courtroom. Because of its broadcast to other people, her rights are now jeopardized. Boyce interrupted Wright to disagree, saying, at some point, if there is so much saturation that it presents a presumption of guilt, I think that's entirely possible in that case, and I'll tell you, I'm quite concerned in that happening here. Boyce also noted that he does not know the members of the media, who they've employed, or who pays them. So he cannot personally guarantee that they will always follow the rules, although there have been no circumstances thus far where media has not followed any courtroom protocol in this case. Wright said that pretrial publicity was not going away, and that motion was an appropriately extreme response to actions that were approved by the court. Boyce ended his conversation with Wright by stating, "I'm very concerned that this goes beyond access, that this goes to creating a financial enterprise that revolves around this case." The judge did not immediately make a ruling and said a written decision will be forthcoming. Now let's talk about the Woodcock's response to the hearing. Nate did have a little interview with them, and let's just talk about what they said in the article about it. After the hearing, Larry Woodcock, J.J. Vallow's grandfather, told EastIdahoNews.com he doesn't want cameras banned from the courtroom. "To me, the issue is not the cameras or audio. The issue is Lori playing to the camera," says Woodcock. "Absolutely, cameras should remain. I want my family and our friends and the people that follow us worldwide, they deserve to know what's going on." A bigger concern to the Woodcocks is that J.J. and Tylee's bodies have still not been released by officials. "All I want to do is bury the kids. I mean, come on, it's been 3 years, says Woodcock. "J.J. is in a vault. He's in a freezer. Judge, let us have them so we can bury them." Okay, so those are the 3 updates. Let's just start with talking about the most recent one, about Lori Daybell. To me, and again, if you follow me, you know I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. My opinion on it is I have a feeling that the judge is going to be ruling in a favor that people don't really like. Just hearing how he corresponded with the media's attorney and whatnot, and what he's saying, I'm kind of like, ooh, they might not be broadcasting this. We're going to have to see how that plays out. But again, I don't know how all that works and legalities and stuff like that, right? there might be a meeting in the middle type situation that goes on here. One thing that I did find interesting is Larry Woodcock's response to this, because I do agree. I think one thing that's going on with this particular situation is that because the defense has a client that plays to the cameras, it does not work well for them. The thing is that this would not have been this big uproar if Lori had not sat there and giggled and laughed and come in there, you know, with her hair done up and all this kind of stuff. This is a very unique situation in that they have a client that enjoys this attention, doesn't take the situation seriously, is laughing and making a mockery of it, to be quite honest. And obviously that does not bode well, and that gives people a sense of like, wow, you know, there is this prejudgment going on there. So I do agree with Larry in this situation. It's like, my God, you know, let the cameras play. I mean, it's the client that's the issue, right? Also, I didn't know that they still had the bodies. God bless them. I mean, I guess subconsciously I did, because there hasn't been any funeral or anything. I guess maybe I blocked that out or something. God bless them. That is 3 long years without putting those poor little babies to rest. I mean, heartbreaking. I hope that they are able to do that soon. Now, let's talk about Letecia real quick. I mean, can't roll my eyes hard enough. That whole thing, first of all, interesting that everyone's saying, yeah, we've been reaching out to the hospital and nobody's returning our phone calls. Is it just me? Or is all forms of customer service and that kind of stuff just non-existent anymore? I mean, it's like at the end of the day, someone pick the damn phone up and get this going, please. Secondly, of course, she's going to be sticking her heels in the ground on some level. She's going to come up with some reason to do this. This time it's over hygiene. This time it's over this. It's what she does. She plays these games. She knows what she's doing. If they have to drag her into court, then drag her into court and bring justice for these families. You already heard them sitting here saying that his family, Gannon is who I'm talking about, the families are sitting there and she's acting like it's the red carpet and she's getting all primed and ready so that everybody can wait on her. And it's just, it's disgusting. Sherri Papini, the fact that she is potentially getting this sentence, I'm like, that's it? That's all she's getting for that? I am flabbergasted by that. Honestly, flabbergasted. That's why I named the title of the thumbnail the way it is. What these women are all getting away with along the lines of this, like with their behavior and whatnot. Clearly, Sherri Papini's crimes are in a different kind of category. They hadn't gotten to the point of, you know, this level of Letecia and Lori and whatnot. Regardless, the absolute damage that Sherri Papini caused to not only innocent people in her community, her children, her husband, I mean, you name it, and that's all that's going to happen to her. I'm like, well, my God. I mean, it's just a damn free-for-all over there, I guess. I'm shocked over that. Now, again, that doesn't mean she's going to get it, right? This is just what they're suggesting. This goes to court Monday. But also, we know how it is over in California. It's very overcrowded. So these sentences like this, I mean, this is not like a violent person, right? She's probably going to go touch jail and leave immediately. I mean, it is what it is. That's why you see these like kind of laughable sentences. And I'm sorry, I just think this is a heinous crime that she did. And I feel like she's getting off scot-free, basically. Not even a slap on the hand. I thought she would do years and years in prison over this. I mean, this is scandalous to the max. So, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Thank you for being here and watching. Be sure to check out the next video for some more, a little bit of shocking news and updates on other things around there. Until next time, I'll see you soon.